I got offers at the top D1 programs in the country like Duke, Florida, and Georgetown, and I did it without playing AAU. Everybody thinks the real secret is more exposure, being out on the circuit, more limelight, more attention, but that's really not what it takes in order to get a scholarship at the next level, and I'm going to explain to you why. If your teenager learns this one thing right now, this is going to set them apart for the next 4+ years in their high school career, plus beyond that if they do play in college. And if they don't, they're just going to be wasting time and spinning their tires in the sand like all the other players out there on the circuit. Now, my name is Trey Mourning. I run a company called Coach Com, and what we do specifically, we work with the families of elite youth basketball players across the country and help the parents raise confident and decisive players and really help you all as a collective unit cut through the noise of basketball politics, increasing your players' IQ, confidence, helping them understand what to work on and why as a professional would in order to cut the line and get places a lot faster than the rest of the general population. Now, as far as myself, as I mentioned before, I was one of the best players in the class of 2014. I had offers to Georgetown, Duke, Florida, pretty much any school I wanted to go to coming out of high school. I chose to go play at Georgetown, and then after that, I went on to play professionally for about 3 to 4 years all over the world. This is an NBA training camp with the Houston Rockets. I was overseas in Russia and New Zealand. I was also the vice president of the Players Union here in the NBA G League with the Miami Heat's affiliate, the Sioux Falls Skyforce. Now, aside from that, I had the privilege of watching my father, Alonzo Mourning, played 16 years in the NBA. He achieved some amazing things. He was first ballot Hall of Famer, won an NBA championship, first player to have his jersey retired with the Miami Heat. I had a front row seat to all of this, and I'm fortunate enough to have been surrounded by greats of the game. The same way you as a parent or you as a player watching this, you have peers at work, parent, who your player knows, and buddies at the law firm or buddies at the tax firm, wherever it is that you work, or maybe you run a business, your employees, maybe they know your employees. The people who hung around my family were other professional athletes. So these two gentlemen on the wall, obviously Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul, these are people who I have personal relationships with. You know, the Patrick Ewings, the Kembe Mutombos, God rest his soul as well. Shaquille O'Neal's, Dwayne Wade's, all these people, Udonis Haslem, these are people I was fortunate enough to get to know really well and grow up around. And it's amazing to have learned from them and now give this wisdom to you all as parents and to you all as players as well. Now, one last thing about me and my professional career. In my most recent season playing professionally, I went from averaging about 5 points and 4 rebounds to 20 points and 9 rebounds. And that change took about 30 days. It was really a quick turnaround. And a lot of it had to do with a mindset shift and seeing things differently. Oftentimes in life, it's not about your circumstances changing around you. It's about you seeing your circumstances differently. And then as a result, you're going to be able to create more opportunity for yourself and your loved ones on and off the court. Now, within Coach Kama, we run a program called the Varsity Performance System. And in the Varsity Performance System, we've taken over 125, I want to say, by this point, parents and players through this process within the last year or so, 18 months. And we've really helped them cut through the noise of the politics. We've helped them understand their role within the game, speaking specifically to the parents, and even for the players, helping them go out there and just kill regardless of where they are playing. Now, I have a free resource at the bottom of this video, and I want you to click on it specifically if you're a parent. It's in the description. It's called the Post-Game Car Ride Framework, and specifically what it's for is for you all as parents to be able to navigate the post-game car ride. You know, maybe your player played a bad game and you don't want to step on toes, and they have some pushback and they don't really want to talk. This is the framework that I send every single family within our community to be able to get an understanding as to how to not make the situation worse in those car rides. It's a perfect time for you all to come together as a family, work on some things, and really support your player as he takes this next step. So go ahead and click that link. Just submit your email. I'll shoot it over to you. It's an automation, and I'll give you some helpful resources in that process as well to be able to really help you understand what's going on. I actually drafted a newsletter, and you will get the newsletter as well once you are a part of the mailing list. I actually drafted a newsletter probably just an hour ago about Giannis Antetokounmpo coming to Miami, and it's official news. Now, I'll continue. So growing up, I grew up here in Miami, Florida. I went to a very small private high school. It's called Ransom Everglades. And we had a graduating class of about 140 something people, right? Now, for me, I was a big fish in what was called a small pond, I guess. Still, I was first team All-State my senior year. I had a game my senior season where I had 52 points, 27 or 22 rebounds, and 12 blocks. It was a ridiculous stat line. I actually looked it up when I was with my players not too long ago, and it's pretty absurd. I could continue to go on. I think I averaged damn near a triple double my senior season. If not, I did average a triple double my senior season. Now you ask, okay, you might be saying to yourself, okay, Trey, you're 6'9", you have a 7-foot wingspan, you're the son of an NBA Hall of Famer, and you get fame, notoriety, and attention. Yes, all of that is true. And at the same time, there's one key principle that set me apart from a lot of other people. I killed where I was. Right? This is a principle that I talk to all the players in the community about. And if you ask any of the players who's been through our process, they're going to understand what kill mentality is. So kill mentality, what this is about specifically, and this is my advice for you all as players and for you all as parents to tell your player has to kill where they are. This can't be okay, I want to go to the next opportunity, look at this thing and that shiny object and all these things there. Kill where you are. And I like to use this analogy: when you kill where you are, there's going to be blood in the water around you. Sharks are going to come when there's blood in the water, right? I don't care if it's little fish that you're killing. I don't care if it's big fish that you're killing. The more you kill and the more blood is in the water, the more the sharks are going to come. Now, you can say the opposite. If you're on the AAU circuit, if you're playing against these top teams and all these different things, you can go out there and kill, and blood can be in the water. Yes, but I'll get into this a bit later. If you are out in the bright lights, and I heard this quote, I guess, from a guy named Myron Golden: the principle is just a principle of wisdom. It doesn't necessarily belong to one person but God. If you are not ready for an opportunity to go out and show yourself and showcase yourself to other people, you are going to get not just embarrassed, but you're going to get exposed. There are some players who, when I play against other pros during the summer and guys, whether it be overseas or here in the NBA, and we're all playing together over the summer and pick up basketball, there's certain players I'm not taking in those gyms because they're not ready to be there. Now, I'm a big believer that you do have to expose people to certain things in order to help them improve, in order to help them grow. But you really need to know what you're doing before you throw people to the wolves, right? Because you could really harm a player. You could harm their development. You could harm, the way that they are recruited as a result of them being out there and just getting embarrassed on the court. Now, this is super simple. As I was mentioning before, the first part of this is really about killing where you are, okay? The competition around you, the players that you're playing against, your teammates. I mean, excuse my French, but fuck them. You cannot care what your teammates think. You can't care what the competition thinks. You need to run through them. I can't tell you how many high school teammates I don't keep in touch with anymore. I can't tell you how many. Granted, there's some high school teammates I absolutely love. Shout out to my high school teammates. Y'all know who you are. There's other high school teammates I don't see anymore. I've seen it maybe reunions once or twice, but I don't know when I'm ever going to see them again, to be quite honest with you. Same thing with my college teammates. There's certain college teammates that I really cared about their opinions, and I don't talk to them. I don't even know how they're doing or what they're doing. There's very few college teammates that I still keep in touch with. I can count them on one hand, to be quite honest with you. Same thing with the pros. People leave and it's a process. People go this way and that way and all these different things. Yes, the NBA is a brotherhood. And yes, professional basketball in some ways is a brotherhood. And I agree with that. I stick with it and stand by it. That being said, time goes by and you can't give a shit what other people think about you. Now, the second piece of why this is extremely important is you can't run from adversity. I see some parents sometimes, this is not a general rule of thumb across the board. Actually, no, there is a story. There was a player that I never officially worked with. Parent booked a call. We ended up meeting. I think this player was based out west in Arizona. And this player had been to 3 different high schools, I want to say, in 4 years. And he was going to his senior year. I think he was thinking about reclassing at some point, and they wanted to move forward. And my program, it's an investment to work with me. It's either 2 payments of $4,500 or one-time payment of $8,000. I have no shame in admitting that and being clear with you on that. This family got, before I didn't necessarily share the price in the beginning, I would really just explain the program. Understand it's a good fit, because I'll explain this to you right now. Prices doesn't necessarily matter if the value is behind it, right? If you know you're getting the solution to all of your problems, whether it be a health issue, whether it be a finance issue, whether it be a love and relationships issue, if you know you're getting your solution to that problem, price can be negotiated and we can figure out a way to work things out. I truly believe that. And this is the way I live my life. I was speaking with this family. We got to the point of talking about price. And before, the dad said, we don't need to talk to mom about this. She doesn't need to be on the call. All of a sudden, when price gets brought up, mom needs to be a part of the call. I bring all of this up to point to this. That player was at 4 different schools, or 3 different schools, I said, in about 4 different years. And he kept hopping around from this place to that place to this place to that place, thinking that they could figure all of this out on their own. One of the worst things that you could do as a parent is think that you could figure this out on your own. You can't, right? Potentially you can, but you just don't have the time to do it. When you have to go bigger in life, you need to have people around you and set up systems in order to get stuff done. Okay. My dad, who at the time was the franchise player for the Miami Heat and the guy, he literally couldn't cook his own food. It makes no sense for him, being one of the best players in the league, to go to shoot around in the morning of a game when he's going to play Shaquille O'Neal for 48 minutes at one night, and then Hakeem Olajuwon 2 nights later. It makes no sense for him to come home from shoot around in the morning and try to think, okay, do I need to go get pick up my dry cleaning? Do I need to cook? What should I cook? I wonder if my kids, if they've eaten, and whether I can get them situated and all these different things. There's no use. It's a waste of his time to do that, because it would take away from the thing that he is bringing the most value in. And not to say he's not bringing value as a father or a husband. He brought value for those things and still does. He needed to make his money on the court, right? So I say this for you all as parents, and I point back to this story. You all need to get help, and you can't keep thinking that moving them around from this place to that place to this place to that place is going to be the solution. That's really the problem at the end of the day, to be quite honest with you. You think you can figure this out on your own. So you're like, okay, rather than running with adversity and biting the bullet and making an investment that makes me feel uncomfortable in the short term, I'm going to move them from place to place to place to place to place because I think this is going to make all the difference. It's bullshit. I want to submit that to you all as parents as well. If you really want to see a change, you have to make some uncomfortable decisions, and it looks like facing what you're afraid to face in the mirror. Essentially, if you do make that decision, I want to stop talking about this, but this is the last thing I'll say. If you don't make the decision to make an uncomfortable decision, if you choose to not make a move, you choose whether it be an investment, if you choose to continue running from program to program, granted it is helpful to go to a different program if stuff is really not working out, but there's certain criteria there. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about 4 programs or 3 programs in 4 years. That's what I'm talking about. If that is what you are doing, you are saying that my comfort and me staying the same is more important than me getting to my goals and where it is that I want to get to. Like this family, they were kidding themselves. They were absolutely kidding themselves because they got uncomfortable when it came to making an investment. I have no idea what was happening behind the scenes or what was going on, but they were uncomfortable to make a move and invest in themselves, and their comfort, right, and continuing to try it their own way was more important than stepping out of their comfort zone in order to get something they've never done before. In order to get something you've never done before, you have to do things that you have never done before. That's literally how it works, and it's super simple, right? It's hard to do. It's simple though, okay? Point 3 is that you have to earn the next fight, okay? You have to earn the next fight. I think about it this way. You see all these one-on-one leagues and all these players who are playing these one-on-one leagues around the world, challenging an NBA player, say like, okay, I'll play you one-on-one. That player who is the street player, he has more to gain than a Michael Beasley or, an Austin Rivers or whoever gets, or even myself. Like I have no joy in playing against a kid at the park who wants to play. I think MK is that guy's name. I have no joy in that, right? I don't know this kid personally. I hate the way he plays basketball. I think it's atrocious. It's testy and people fight and, bad news sells. But man, I just think it's a whole lot of BS. You have to earn the next fight. You have to earn the right to be able to step into certain arenas and certain spaces to fight. And you do that by going back to principle 1. You have to kill where you are. Kill where you are. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. If you never remember any single thing that I said in this video, just kill where you are. Once you kill where you are, you can step into the next space more confidently and then do it again and again and again and again and conquer the next giant. But you have to do the uncomfortable thing. In a recap, so first and foremost, you got to dominate in your backyard. You have to kill where you are. First and foremost, kill where you are. Second, you can't run from adversity. You have to solve it where you are. You have to deal with the stuff that's going on. Granted, there are certain cases, and I help the families in my program navigate these cases, being able to determine whether or not a coach is a good coach. I actually dropped a video not too long ago, and you could check that out. It talks about how to figure out whether the coach is the right coach for you and the questions you could be asking them to get on the same page. If those boxes aren't checked, you can move on to the next program. That's fine for you to do. And third, you have to earn the next fight, the next battle you're stepping into. You can't just challenge somebody and be like, hey man, you're soft and I want to play you, right? And I'm gonna prove to you that I'm better than an NBA player. You're not better than an NBA player. You're not. The NBA players, and even myself who was in training camp, like we're the best. We are the best in the world for a reason. We're the best in the world for a reason. We play basketball even when people don't feel like it, even when we don't feel like it. We hop on planes and travel and go all the way around the world. And like, it's challenging. You're not as good as us. You're not. So those are the three things in particular. And again, that form is below for you all as parents who want to navigate that post-game car ride better. Go ahead and click the link. Or if you want to take the next step and book a call, go ahead and click the link as well. If you just want to stick around and watch more videos, that's fine too. The next video for you to watch is how to get the most out of AAU this summer. If you're on the circuit, if you're a parent, if you're a player, watch this next video. It's going to help you understand how to get the most out of this summer and not waste any more time. I'll see you there.